I was just trying to do too much, bro. Like, and I wanted to show everybody that, like, look at all these tools that I worked on. I can do this and that. And I wanted just to
Mhm.
show all these scouts there. And man, I just didn't perform the way I should have. And the next day, I was like, all right, screw all this. I already didn't do too great the first day. What do I have to lose now? Right.
I'm feeling good. At least feeling great. Yeah. Bro.
Dude, it's going well, bro. It's going well. First of all, I want to say something, bro. When you hit me up to do this podcast, bro, I was so happy because I don't know if you remember, but 5 or 6 years ago, I went on a visit to Miami, and I met you and Zach Collins. And number one, you're the nicest guy there. They talked the world of you. Freddie was the guy, you know what I mean? Um, but um, dude, like you and Zach left such an impact on me because like I would look and Willie and Zach were just out there hitting nukes right into the thing. And I just sit out there watching. I was on. This was Jim Morris's last year, I think, or maybe his second to last year. But yeah, so that's a kind of crazy experience. But yeah, so we met
Wow,
before,
bro.
shaking hands.
Dude, that's so sick. It's so crazy that you say that, man, because like, we meet so many people that come in to visit and they
Mhm.
come in and leave, man. And I appreciate that. I mean, you always hope that even if they don't go to Miami, they do like it is what it is. But I
Yeah.
hope that at least sometimes you can leave like a positive impact on somebody's
Oh,
life,
bro,
man.
you absolutely did that. I mean, as soon as I stepped on campus and they started talking about the players, you were the first guy that they wanted me to meet because you were the most personable person there. And, bro, you did a great job. Like, your character spoke for itself, man. So
Wow,
kudos to you for
man.
that.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate that. I
Mhm.
appreciate that. Zach's my boy too, bro. I was just with him yesterday, dude.
Yeah.
We
Okay.
hang out all the time. That's my best friend. We've been friends since we were little kids, bro. Like six
Okay.
years old.
Okay. Because you're
Yeah.
from Hialeah
Yep. Yep.
and he's
Yep.
from Pembroke Pines, right? Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
For Pembroke Pines. Yeah. And
Yeah.
I just moved up. So I was living in Tampa, but now I just actually got a place right next to his, like in Pines.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
That's
so
what's up. Okay.
I was coming up towards him. Now he says he's got to leave, bro, because too many of the Cubans, these Cubans are
Yeah.
inhabiting his space, bro. He said,
Oh, man.
but bro, that's awesome, man. I appreciate that. I really do. I really do.
Mhm.
Thank you, man. So
Yeah.
what, like, that's what I guess that's a good place to start, bro. I wanted to start at the beginning, bro, because what you're doing is absolutely amazing. First and
Thank you.
foremost,
Thank you.
bro,
Thank
like
you.
you're killing it, and I think it's needed, right? Because you're speaking from a place from experience, and a lot of people don't admit when like things are hard, bro. Like hitting's hard. Like not a lot of people are naturally gifted at hitting and had to learn a lot of the things that came about, right? You could see a
Mhm.
lot of the big leaguers, like we know it. There's a lot of guys that are big leaguers that were just they hit since they were born, bro. Like
Yeah. They just, yeah.
it was just it, right? Like
Mhm.
it's videos that we use all the time, right? That I try to copy, that you look at, that you break down.
Mhm.
But I think it's so much more interesting to speak with people that didn't have it easy
Yeah,
because
man.
you had to fix the swing, you
Yeah.
had to
Yeah.
build it, you had to do those
Yeah.
things. So tell me let's go all the way to the beginning. Tell me about starting playing. How, like, was
Yeah.
this like a natural love for you? Were you naturally gifted as soon as you
Yeah.
picked up a bat? How was that? Tell me about that.
So as soon as I picked up the bat, I was not naturally gifted, but I was very athletic and I had some tools to work with. So my dad kind of just experimented. We tried something different every day. We've been swinging the bat together in my basement since I was 3 years old, man.
Wow.
Like just getting after it. We still hit in the same spot like today, man. But so yeah, just kind of fine tune it there. So kind of how my dad and I were like to say, I go out and test it, and he's the engineer in the lab, like figuring things out. So he would come up with something, and then I'd go out and see if we can apply it. Like, okay, no, it doesn't work like this. We need to make some tweaks here, and that's kind of how we built it. And for a while, dude, it was going really, really good until I got into. So I was 14 years old, and I broke my foot in high school, right? And that's when everything changed because hitting Twitter had just got really big, right? And
Mhm.
I was out for an entire year because I had foot surgery. So all I was doing was sitting online, consuming, hitting Twitter. And the more I started consuming all of this new stuff, the more I moved away from the things that made me really good. Because I wanted to try all this barrel turn stuff and all of this and all of that. And I got away with a lot of stuff because I was a strong kid. When I was 16 years old, I was 220 pounds. Like, I've been that size my whole time. So I got away with a lot of things. I was able to play at a higher level just because of athleticism. But when the better pitching came into play and I was doing all of this hitting revolution stuff, as I'd like to call it, man, it just didn't work. And I failed terribly, man. I failed terribly. Um, And like I would fly all over the country, dude, learning from different guys and reaching different guys like online, just like trying to consume all the information I could, and I didn't really need it. So after failing enough, I finally got tired of it, dude. So I, sorry, so I decided. I called up my dad. I was like, okay, let's figure this out again. Like I'm ready to come back home. And dude, we sat on FaceTime for like an hour and a half, and this is when I'm at Miami-Dade. Okay, so I'm at Miami-Dade, and I'm hitting like 240. Not going well. Like I was supposed to be the SEC guy coming in and making an impact. Not happening. So I was like, all right, what do I got to do? We sit on FaceTime for an hour and a half or whatever, and talk about a bunch of different things. And the next day, man, I go on a hot streak. The next 26 ABs, I catch 23 barrels with no strikeouts and like 3 or 4 bombs. So I'm sitting here like, okay, this works. And I was doing some crazy stuff, some stuff that I never would have been open-minded enough to try before when I was learning all the hitting information. I'll tell you this.
What were you doing? Like,
yeah. So
let's get into it.
I can't
grab it, baby, grab it.
Where is it? One second. All right, I'm back.
Let's go.
So this is what was going on. So I was doing way too much of this. I would lose my barrel. I had no adjustability. I couldn't backspin anything. And dude, I would sit in the cages for like literally. I'd go to practice. Like when I was at South Carolina, I'd go to practice at 9 p.m. and I'd in practice at 9 p.m. Show up at like 9:30ish to the cage because we had an indoor. I'd stay from 9:30 p.m. all the way to 9:30 a.m. swinging the bat, trying to do this stuff. And I built some really bad habits, so I had to do some really extreme stuff. So this is what I did. My dad had me choke up on the bat and put some space in between my hands. From here, we did the bonds thing, and all I try to do is line up the knob like that and tomahawk the ball. And did that actually happen? No, it didn't. My barrel actually went like this, but I didn't lose it. And it was quick and it was short. And dude, I've never hit better in my life. And then COVID came and season ended. But it was the best I'd ever swung the bat, man. Just by doing some crazy stuff like that. I was like in a no stride before had like a leg kick and everything. But yeah, just simplifying it and just kind of getting back to the roots is what made the difference for me. And then what I started to realize was, dude, like I am my own worst enemy. I am the reason why I've been struggling. It's this guy up here. Like it's me versus me. It's not me versus the pitcher. It's like I'm competing with myself, trying to do the same like repeatable process and stay within myself. And I didn't realize that before. I thought it was, if I missed the pitch or if I was off time, I was like, oh, my mechanics weren't good. I need to fix it. Let me go look at some video and fix it. Nah, bro, it's not quite it. It's not quite it.
Yeah. It's funny. It's funny that you say that because so many times I remember having to kind of get away from like so many of the things that you think are going to work or you think you should do. You think that you should be doing all these things. And then all of a sudden you're like, it's counterintuitive, right? Like you're hurting it instead of like allowing that natural ability. It's crazy because I'm sure when you did that drill, it almost felt natural right away.
Yeah.
Like it was like,
okay,
shoot.
Okay.
Like, damn, I feel the swag. I almost feel the goodness of the swing though. And then a lot of times, I don't know about you, but I'll ask you, did you ever feel like you were just like trying to like place your hands in the right place? Like you were trying to like
it felt like positions. Yeah, man. Even more than that, it just felt like I was trying to put every little thing in the right place. And it was way too many moving parts. And it was way too much to control in like that amount of time, man. It's like way too much to do.
Yeah. You can't do it. It's impossible. Like what? So talk to me about, I love the videos when it's funny that you said that drill. I think you might have I think it was you, who knows, you know how it is. Yeah. Somebody did, but it was it was Bonds and I think Sheffield in an all-star game.
Okay.
That Bonds was talking to Finch, Jenny Finch. She's like, oh, you've never seen a riser.
Yeah.
And he goes,
his top hand.
Yeah, he never seen this top hand.
Yeah.
And he does that. He goes, whoop. And there it is. It's not an actual tomahawk. Like you're not actually doing a tomahawk, but it will.
I had to think. Yeah. And I got so many. I love the fact you brought up Barry Bonds because I have so many like theories as to why he does what he does and why it translates to the field.
Hit me.
So Barry Bonds says that he does the tomahawking action, just like I was talking about earlier, because that's what me and my dad did. We just studied a bunch of bonds. It's like, okay, this is what we're going to do. And it worked for us. But he thinks he does the tomahawking action like that, right? That's what he literally feels like he's doing. So the way your spine processes information is basically like that, right? So if I'm here, if my barrel's like this, it's above my hands, right? But when I start tilting, it's not so much. Well, if you look at Bonds, people think it's so much of the chest. I think it's actually his face and the way that he orients it. So when he gets into a stance, he's like this, dude. His face to the side. So when he feels that down, it's behind. Now if I turn this angle up, yeah, I'm on top. I'm doing that, but now let me turn my face.
It's flat. You're on plane.
Yeah,
you're on
but
plane.
I feel that down. I can get that backspin still. I can still stay through it. So like literally, I think him changing his face just change angles. It's the same thing. I know it's really weird, but there's a video of him when he was with the Pirates just before he came over to the Giants. That the dude is literally looking like this. I'm like, what in the world? I've never seen that before. I was like, that makes sense. Makes perfect sense.
Well, bro, Tony Gwynn, another guy.
There you go.
He looks like he's freaking like this.
Yeah, and another swing down guy, right?
Yep.
Yeah, if I'm going to be like...
No, you hit it. And it's almost like, yes, you might, if you put it in slow motion, you might see what everybody's talking about, they're not swinging down. It's like, yeah, that's fine. But it's because their head, they're literally creating the angle, like you said, with their head, like the vision. I've never heard of that, but that's so true. That's so true. I know a lot of people. I had Benny Craig, which is one of the best hitting coaches. He's out of Carmel, Indiana. I had him in the Cape. And he used to talk about posture with the chest a lot. Yeah. But in a sense, it was so true. It was just a vision of where you're at. You could do that. Your chest could, because of where you're putting your eyes, it could like perceive like your chest is going down a lot, right? That's so crazy. I never thought about that way. Yeah. That is a good one. That's a really good assumption.
Yeah, dude. And the thing is, I just want to go and ask him. I've all these questions. I want to go and ask him just to know, like, the things that me and my dad have come up with throughout the years, if they're right. Like, I had something else on him with like how that I think he applies force in the handle to hit the baseball. And
so explain that.
Okay. So let's see. If I put it like this, if I wanted to, all right. Let's say I want to. If you can move the bat head with less movement and it's quicker, that's probably better, right?
Okay, so
either I can get my bat to the point of contact like this without putting any force into it, or I can use this as a fulcrum and pull against it, right? So the same way like this, now I can sit here and it's fast. It's fast. I don't have to move much. I don't have to drag it. And it's there. I didn't move much of my body, right? So I think Barry Bonds is the same thing. He sits right here with this grip. Boom, boom, boom. He drops it like this, and I think his hands are like. Notice he's all over the plate, right? So I was thinking his hands are over the plate. This is where he catches the ball. He always talks about catching. He basically puts his hand in front of the catcher. I think that's why he does that. It's like a catcher doing this or something to get ready to receive the pitch.
He's
now he's catching it. Once he lines it up, now it's time to apply force in the handle. It's lined up. Notice that he finishes rolled over all the time. It's because of that. He's putting force in the handle, making the barrel accelerate through the baseball instead of like pushing it and dragging it. You know what I mean?
Wow, bro. So he's not like, for example, I'll give you an example because this what I used to do as opposed to what worked best. So I used to think of, hey, I keep my bat flat and I load back, right? Like the normal load back and get my bat on plane and stay flat, right? I don't drop too far this way. I don't go too far this way. But if I just use my legs, right? I use my legs as much as I can. And all I do with my hands is load back to the catcher and come forward. And as long as I'm using my legs the right way and the separation whips it through, I'm good. Bro.
But
that worked sometimes. But what worked the best was when instead of holding the bat, everybody says, oh, hold the bat on the edge and be soft. Yeah. Bro, I started holding it on like my back knuckles back here. And I almost had to feel like I could do the Barry Bonds if I wanted to.
Yeah, like you could break the handle almost.
Yes, like I'm like, if I feel like wherever I'm at, and there's one of the things that Judge says that I like, wherever you're at, you want to feel like you can swing from. Like, boom,
go.
And it's go. If somebody throws me, Vladdy has a video that he's not ready for a pitch, and he's just standing there, and then all of a sudden the guy's throwing 100, and he quick pitches him, and he just goes like this.
Oh, I remember that.
And fouls it off.
Yeah.
And the guy was just standing there like this. And he just went, boop, and just touched the ball. I go, bro, I could never hit like that because I had to load. I need to time the pitcher. Here we go. He's starting. I got to start early. Because I had, but hey, you're too big.
don't swing too hard.
Yeah.
Loose hands,
Yep.
loose hands.
Yep.
All right. Yeah, I'm loose. Ball's by me. Boom.
Yep.
I'm like, what the heck is that? I used my legs. I didn't use my hands. I promise. I grew up in that era too.
Yeah.
That's it. Don't worry. I didn't use my hands. It was all loose. And I have nothing.
Dragging, nothing.
Dragging. It's dead. Bro, when I started feeling that, like you're talking about like this, it was the tightest I've ever felt in my whole damn life.
Everything's right off the back shoulder and
bro, I was just right here and it just all of a sudden I started pumping like bonds because it just
and you were in sync though.
In sync. I didn't have to think about it, try it, nothing. It was literally the way that I applied pressure in my hands.
Yeah. Don't you think it's so crazy how something as small as your hands kind of fix like all this other stuff?
Everything.
It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Like, how come I just can't think to get my body in a good position? It just works because it's not like that for everybody, bro.
It's not. And that's the problem, I think. And you tell me, what do you think is the biggest problem with hitting coaches nowadays when it comes to expressing what is good, what is bad? Do you see that a lot of hitting coaches are just one way? Or
I think so. I would like to think that we're starting to move away from that because we're seeing so many guys with individuality and it like working in the big leagues where you got a guy like Ronald Acuna who's like this, and you had a guy like Julio Franco back in the day who's like that. You know what I mean? But like some very different stuff. But I think that there's too much emphasis on like everybody has all these absolutes, right? And I don't think there's many absolutes, man. I heard this from a guy the other day. And it was one of the best things ever. He said, principles are few, but methods are many. I was like, that's genius because there's a million different ways to try and get to the same thing, but we still abide by the same principles. Balance, timing, rhythm, stuff like that, right? Very simple, something that everybody can kind of relate to. You can't have like all these little things that every guy must do because if it were that easy, man, if there was one way that there'd only be one hitting coach out there, everybody would have a big league contract and we'd all be really good at hitting if there was one way to do it. You know what I mean? There wouldn't be all these different hitting coaches, all these philosophies. It wouldn't work like that. You wouldn't have guys arguing because there's one way to do it, right? There's only one way that your heart beats, right? Nobody argues that. It just pumps, right? There's one way. Nobody argues it. I know it's a weird example, but the principle's still the same. If there was one way to do it, there wouldn't be many ways to get it done. You know what I mean?
You're absolutely correct. So what are your, other than balance, rhythm, and timing, which are all great, obviously it's what are your other absolutes? Like, what do you think are some things that, you know, if a kid is watching this, like where do you start? Where do you start?
Yeah. So I usually start, to be completely honest with you, dude, I think the swing is, I wouldn't say it's the least important thing, but it's the last thing to worry about. Because if we're looking at a formula, right, and you get a result, the swing is the result of the formula you put in. So the formula is the loading moves and how you got to your spot and if it was efficient. Well, if your foundation wasn't good, if any of that stuff wasn't good, well, of course your swing's going to be bad. I'm not going to be mad at you if you take a bad swing and everything's bad beforehand. I just want you to control everything beforehand and then the swing will come. So I like to work backwards. I like to work on starting like literally when they in their stance and then the pickup. I think that's where everybody goes wrong. I think most people screw up as soon as they pick up their foot because they don't know how to either get into the ground, they don't know how to get into their back hip, or their idea of doing it is just wrong. And from there, everything kind of falls apart. So most of my time, dude, I fix loads. I don't fix swings, and then the swing fixes itself when I get to the kid, get them in a better position.
I love that because, again, one of the first things that I ever tried when I really started tinkering with my swing was the legs and Gratum. I'm sure you've heard of Gratum baseball. Like Lorenzo helped me so much with getting into my legs when he first started Gratum, and it was amazing because it changed my career. Like I started actually driving the ball. I was a big 6 foot, 6'3" slap hitter at first, and then I actually started learning how to drive the ball. What? Oh, bro, you don't understand. That's for another conversation. This is about you, not me. We'll get into it if you want to later, some other time. But yeah, but what do you see? Like, because you kind of mentioned it. Like, there's a lot of things that people get about getting into their legs and how you get into your back hip. What do you believe is the best way to get into that hip, get into that backside, to use it, not just to act like you're getting in there, to actually use it?
I think that the reason that nobody knows how to get into the lower half is because they think that getting into the lower half only involves the legs when it's not that. It actually has very little to do with the legs. It's all about the upper half. You can only get into your legs as much as your upper half will allow it. And this is what I mean. So let's say your torso is the heaviest part of your body, right? So your legs need weight. They need weight to work with, right? So if your torso is if I want to put force in the ground, I need to put force straight into the ground, right? The reason why I'm standing right here is because the ground is putting 220 pounds of force up, and I'm putting 220 pounds of force down. I can only get out as much as I put in, right? And if I want to put a lot in, I can't let this get too far over, too far back, or anywhere. This has to be locked in place so I can get into my hips. So most of the times, dude, I went to the fall league and I just kept seeing it over and over again. So you know how we were just talking about the Bonds head tilt? These guys had way too much of it. So much so that they're only using these and they can't get into their legs at all because they don't have any weight to hold them down, right? So you know that Willie Adames,
they lean story.
So he gets in there, right? So he gets in there. Barry Bonds, tall, boom, he gets in there. If you notice, just look at guys with bad lower bodies. They're always over like this, or they're too far back like that. It always has to do with the torso. In order to get into the hips, which is very weird, and I've been experimenting with this, and my swing has actually never been better. In order to get to the hips, you have to retract your scaps, and now your hips are free to go. If you're over like this, you're going to use your upper body, and there's a lot of slack. But if you can pull back like this, then you can create a lot of force in a tight amount of space. Like Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson doesn't deliver an uppercut like that. He's in his back, right? It's boom, right? Powerful. Same thing. I'm getting that same spot and creating the same force, like using the ground. So I think in order to get into the legs, you got to figure out the upper body. You got to figure out where to place your upper body to put force into the legs the right way.
Wow.
So that was a lot, but yeah.
Yeah, no, that's crazy. I've never thought of it that way either, man. That's such. Now I want to go hit. I'm like, oh shit.
But yeah, dude, like I didn't start using my legs better until I started tweaking my upper body.
Yeah, was that before?
Go ahead.
Was that before? I saw the videos of you kind of really low, getting low to the ground, and some were two strikes maybe, but it almost looked like your knees were pointed out a little bit.
Yeah,
was that on purpose? Was that on purpose or
what? Absolutely. So so the whole idea behind that was when you do it. So I had a really bad habit of collapsing on my backside. So I was thinking, okay, like let's think of it. If I'm a triangle like this, I can't let this collapse here. So a lot of people want their knees inside the toes, which is not a bad thing if you can like hold that. But for me, if I let my back knee cave in like this, then one side of that triangle breaks down. It like, you know what I mean? So then I end up going like that. So if I can keep my knees apart and land in a strong spot, I know that I'm not going to break down here because I'm supported, and now I'm in the middle, and now I can work. So the whole point of that stance was for two things. Number one, I wanted a wider, stronger base. And number two, kind of what we just talked about, I would get too far over and wouldn't get into my hips. If I thought bring my hips under me like this, then I actually loaded them, and then I was ready to go. So that was the point behind that.
Dang. Did you do that for a long time, or do you still do that now?
I did it for as long as I could. And the reason why I say that is because I ended up breaking my kneecap. I actually had a broken kneecap during all those swings. And I was getting my knee drained once a week. And like the stance was working so well, dude. I just couldn't do it in the game. Like I could do it in the game, but like my knee would swell up, bro. I get it drained once a week, and it got to the point where I just couldn't even get into my stance anymore. It just hurt too bad.
Yeah, the pain hurt. Can you explain? Let's talk about those injuries, because I saw it, like 17 broken bones, 5 ligaments, 4 surgeries. Like, bro, explain to me,
a little
please.
More now. We're at 6 or 7 ligaments and 6 surgeries. So I'm 5 months out of an ACL surgery right now. But I'm learning about that. I'm kind of understanding now that I'm going to this new trainer. I'm understanding why I was getting hurt so much. It's just because my posture was bad, and I was consistently putting my body in bad and compromised weak positions. Just by the way that I was running, by the way I was walking, all that kind of stuff. And I'm hypermobile as well, which doesn't help me because my joints are loose. And I'm a pretty strong guy, so I'll put a lot of force into the ground, and then that happens. So
when did that start? When did those injuries start for you?
Those injuries started. So my first major injury was a year before I met you, actually, bro. So it was before that year. Yeah, so I tore my ACL about a year and a half. So my junior year in high school, probably 2015, 16, something like that. That was the first ACL injury. It was on my right knee. I tore my ACL, MCL, meniscus, and fractured my tibia all at the same time. So it was a long road to recovery, but I made it back and since then, I've had 5 more. I've had 3 more knee operations, Tommy John, and a foot surgery.
And just from playing, running, I mean,
Playing, man, just from playing. Yeah, dude.
bro, but how many damn years? I mean, bro, that was what,
So
6 years ago? You've had a surgery every year or what?
Every year. I haven't played a full year of college baseball. Yeah.
Wow, man.
Yeah. My only full year that I stayed healthy, COVID happened, and that was a year that I was going off with the bat. But so yeah, it's been a crazy ride, bro.
Jeez, man. I'm so sorry to hear that, bro. That's
hey,
crazy.
man, it's all a part of the story, dude. It's not over till I say it's over. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's right.
I'm still training right now. Like, I'm still trying to get back out there. My goal is to play indie ball next year. So I'm gonna find a way, man. I'm gonna find a way.
That'll be so sick to get.
Quit.
Yeah, no, don't, bro, don't. Till they take it away from you, bro.
Yeah,
let them take it away from you. Like,
I have
that's
to.
it.
Yeah, especially, dude. I played 1 full year of baseball, and that was my senior year in high school. And that's the only full year of baseball I played. And all of my time in high school, and including all of my time in college.
Can you explain?
My only full year.
Then let's talk a little bit about high school. Let's talk about the recruiting process and stuff like that. I know that's something that people are really interested in always. Yeah. Like, where did that start? Obviously, you were injured, I guess, your junior year as well, right?
Yeah, so I was injured my freshman year. I forgot about that. So my freshman year, I broke my foot. That's the foot injury when I started experimenting with everything. So I broke my foot, and I was out a year for that, so I didn't play that year. My sophomore year, I came back, and I played half of that season, and I was just as a DH because I was a catcher, and I had knee problems. I couldn't catch, and Joey Bart was our catcher anyway, so I wasn't going to catch as a freshman. I mean, as a sophomore, and he's a senior that year, so I wasn't going to catch. And then after that following year, after that, I tore an ACL, and I hadn't really got recruited yet because nobody seen me play. Like, nobody saw me play. I didn't start playing again until like my senior fall is when I got my offers. So that's when I went on to the visit at Miami. Maybe it was before. No, I went to that visit on Miami. Yeah, I think it was the fall. Yes, fall of my senior year. So I went out there, and then they were a little confused as to why I didn't have an offer, because I came there and I hit a bunch of balls over the scoreboard. I threw over 95 miles an hour from the outfield. I ran like a 6'9". It was good enough because the power was there. And Jim Morris was very confused as to why haven't you been picked up yet? Like, there's got to be something else wrong with you.
What's the catch here, brother?
Yeah. So we were like talking, and then South Carolina just kind of swooped in and offered me. And they offered me something I couldn't turn down. So I was like, I got to take this. So, dude, like, my recruiting process, I wasn't one of those kids who got recruited early. I got recruited the last minute. I was scrambling. I didn't know what I was going to do. And I would send out emails to schools, and nobody would get back to me until I like started playing again, and some guys got to see me, and then I started getting traction. But it was late, and I got lucky. So
what's your advice to the kids that are in that process now and might not have kind of a school to go to? What would you give them advice to do as kids that want to be in your shoes one day?
I think that nobody's going to advocate for you like yourself. Nobody is going to push you like you can. So what you have to do is put yourself out there. This is an example. So I don't know how accurate I am with the story, but this is the story. So Puff Daddy, back in the day, big producer now, big artist now. How he got his start was he jumped on stage. There was a group dancing, right? And he was a dancer back in the day, and he wasn't supposed to be a part of the group dancing. But guess what? He injected himself into the situation and was a part of the concert, and actually ended up being the best one out there. And he got signed off of that. So what did he do? He put himself out there to be seen. So guys, kids, you got to do the same thing. Nobody's going to see you unless you want to be seen. If you're not an absolute freak who doesn't stand out, then you got to put yourself out there. You need to be consistently sending these college coaches emails. And the reason why I say consistently, because if you're out of sight, you're out of mind. They got hundreds and hundreds of kids hitting them up. But if you're consistently hitting them up, they're consistently seeing your name, they might just pick you, honestly. You know what I mean? So consistently hit these guys up, and always post your workouts. Social media is a huge tool now. That's actually how I got my offers, was because somebody posted me hitting a home run at Lake Point, and I got offers off of that. So, So post your stuff and reach out to these coaches. If you want it bad enough, you will not stop until you get that college scholarship. It will happen. There's a place to play for everybody. I promise.
Yeah. And It's funny that you mentioned the social media thing. I guess when I was coming through, high school and stuff like that, social media was something that people used to like be made fun of for,
Yes, absolutely.
oh, you're posting, like, what a loser, bro. You're
Yeah.
showing out, like, what are you trying
Yeah.
to do? And like, even now with the podcast, like I still have, when everybody does it, like I still have like a little bit of, should I post? Like, should I not post? Like, what do you say to people that are having trouble, like overcoming that fear of posting themselves? And you even going as far as talking for yourself, which I think could be great for kids to show their personality.
Absolutely.
Right? Like what kind of advice do you have for kids with using social media?
So listen, like it's tough. It's even still tough. Like I post every single day. I think I'm up to like 440 posts now. And I even get a little nervous sometimes because you're putting yourself out there. You're like really just exposing yourself for the world to judge you, and you don't know how it's going to go. And especially when people are behind screens, they are ruthless. They are ruthless. But what I will tell you is, this is my gauge of success. If I posted something and nobody said anything bad, then the video wasn't good enough and it wasn't big enough. I didn't reach enough people. If I didn't piss anyone off, I didn't reach enough people. That's how I see it. So if you're pissing people off, you're doing something right, because not everybody's going to like it, right? If you just get to a group of people who like it, now you know that we haven't reached everybody. Until you start getting to the people that won't like it, that means that, the algorithm is pushing out to everybody. It's being seen by everybody now. So when I see I get some bad comments every now and then. I'm like, yes, and I'll go look at the views, and it reflects, okay, enough people saw it.
Yeah. So, what are some bad? Talk to me about some of the bad ones, bro. Tell me some of those bad.
I've had just like some dads, or I don't even know who they are. Some burner accounts just call me like a clown, or say like, you hit 188 South Carolina. I was like, yeah, that's exactly why I'm doing this. My thing is I failed so you don't have to. Like, yes.
I did. Did you? Because
right. Exactly. What else? I'll just dude, honestly, like I try to not look at comments because I get so many of them, and I'll try and respond to the good ones and have my assistant respond to some of the good ones. But it's hard to get to all of them. So I try and not look at them, but I do see them every now and then.
That's awesome. What about some good messages, man? I'm sure you've helped people that you haven't even met before. Like, do you ever get some of those DMs, and maybe tell us a story about one of those? That'd be super sick to hear.
Yeah, man. So honestly, this happened before I even started this. So like I said before, I was really big on like hitting Twitter and all that, and I would post like some occasional rants on Twitter, and then I got like a small following because of it of baseball guys. And I had a kid hit me up and ask some questions, and I'm not much of a texter. Like I don't do the texting thing. I was like, you got to call me. You want to talk to me? Let's talk on the phone.
Yeah.
So I FaceTime the kid, random kid. I'm at South Carolina. He's like, I don't know where he is. And next thing you know, for the next year, me and this kid worked together, just online. Like, and I was just going to, I was in college. Like I was still trying to figure stuff out, but I was willing to help the kid, and he was listening. So he was my first like real person like I worked with. And then fast forward a few months later, we play Auburn, and I had a good game. I hit a bomb or something, and I'm walking to go see my parents, right? And next thing you know, this kid is right there. And I'm like, no way. And my eyes lit up, and I'm like, holy crap, like that's the kid I've been helping for the last year. And I see him. It was just a really cool experience, like finally meet him and everything. So that's one of the better stories. That was really awesome. That's when I knew. I was like, okay, this could, like, maybe I could do something like this one day. I don't know. And then a few years later, and now I'm doing it, and I've gotten to help a lot of kids. I mean, the best messages I get are, each video, I have a certain person, I have a certain hitter in mind that I'm trying to help. And I just think about, okay, how can I help this person? And then when I do get a DM and say, hey, I was struggling with this and saw your video on this, I went and tried it and it worked, and I did this today, man, it's the best thing ever. It's literally the best thing ever. It doesn't get better than that.
Yeah, it makes your day, bro. It makes it all worth it. It makes it all worth it.
Yeah.
Can you let's talk a little bit more about South Carolina, because I mean, playing in the SEC obviously is unbelievable. Can you explain to me about some of the fun things, and like walking onto campus for the first time, and like explain to that college experience of getting on campus for the first time and being like, wow, man, like this is for real?
Yeah. So I remember the moment that like I really figured out like, okay, this is a big time. Because at first, like the fall semester, like yeah, I was in awe of everything. But the first game and you hear that crowd and you feel that energy, it's different. I would like I had a Tommy John my freshman year, so I didn't play. But I'm sitting in the dugout and I'm just looking around and I can feel it. Like I can feel the crowd chanting and feel it. I'm sitting here like, dude, this is the most electric thing I've been in. And we're playing. I don't even know the name of the school we're playing. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
it's not important. Like, and so yeah, just stuff like that. And then just having the experience of being a college athlete on campus. You know how it is. Like, it's cool. It's cool, especially when it's like your first time being exposed to something like that.
Yeah,
you kind of feel like a big man on campus, which could be a good thing or a bad thing. As long as you don't let it get to your head. Obviously, you didn't. I think that's why your reputation was the way it was. But yeah, man, honestly, just living that life and just being moments in the locker room with the guys, spending time with guys that like, you guys are all there for the same reason. And you love the game just as much. Now, of course, you have a few dickheads every now and then, right? But they weed out. They always weed out. You know what I mean? And then you just get to have all these experiences. And honestly, I think the coolest thing ever, summer baseball. Like, I think that's the best because you just go somewhere random and you just kick it with some boys for 3 months and you guys have a whole lot of fun. You play ball, but then you never see them again. You know what I mean?
That's it.
But yeah, but you're still, I bet you might even still like follow some of those guys online.
Oh, yeah.
Cool to see what they're doing. I think the best part about it is the crowd and the fans, all the cool stuff is great, but the relationships you make, man, are the best, bro. And it's not even the SEC. It's just playing college sports. Those relationships are the best. Like I got my best friends from the sport. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, it's priceless, man. That's exactly what's priceless. But all right, let's make a little shift because you played at the two extremes, right? You went to obviously you were at South Carolina, SEC, the top of the top, and then next thing you know, you're at Dade. Mind you, still the top of the top of what they do, but it's JUCO. It's a little different, right? Can you explain to me the differences that you saw instantly right away, and what were the goods and what were the bads?
Yeah. So the time I came to Dade, I don't know if they're still doing it now, but we had a lot of kids from overseas. So I think we had 2 or 3 American kids on my team, which is the first time I've ever experienced like that. I'm usually the only black kid. But now I'm just like there's like 2 or 3 black kids on my team. But culturally, it was very different. And man, I never had so much fun playing baseball in my life, man. Never had so much fun playing baseball. So we got there, like, I don't know if it's a JUCO thing or if it's a South Florida thing, or it could just be all of it. But we got there and we just got to work, man. Like we hit before practice, we hit during practice, and we hit after practice. And we loved it each and every time. We'd push sleds after practice when we weren't asked to. We had a grittiness to us. We stuck together. We cheered each other on like no other. I remember the first practice I got to, man. Whereas in the SEC is like we're all out there. We're a team, but we're kind of out there for ourselves. Like we're trying to play. You know what I mean? Like when you're at the top level, you want to be the dude, right? And the first time we took like IO and Miami-Dade, the whole team was going nuts for each guy. Like, and I was like, I love this. Like we are truly all in this together. Like this is a brotherhood. So I actually had my most fun playing at Miami-Dade for sure.
Oh, that's awesome. Was Nini was the coach?
Yeah, Nini, the greatest coach ever. Greatest. I got goosebumps right now, bro. He's the best coach ever, and I have some great coaches in my time. But me and Nini are just different. Nini's different, man.
Bro, I'll tell you what. So you're the podcast number 51. He's number 50. So I just did him before you.
Okay. Yeah. Nini's the GOAT. Yeah.
Yeah, bro. He's the best. So it's funny because I'm guessing did that have anything to do with you going to Miami-Dade? Was the connection with South Carolina?
So yeah.
So explain that to me. Yeah.
Yeah. So I won't tell the full story because I'm going to piss some people off, but I'll just say this.
Let them hate, baby. You know we from Miami, but it's all right, dog. We can get with it.
So I basically, after my sophomore year at South Carolina, I decided to go to Miami-Dade. Not because I was forced to, but I made the decision to leave because I thought it would be in my best interest. I thought I could get to a place where I didn't have to worry about, man, I just went 0 for 5. I might not play again for the rest of the year. You know what I mean? Like, I just wanted to get to where I could fail and be the guy and have as many chances to fail as possible. Because mind you, dude, I hadn't played much baseball at all. I got to where I got solely on the eye test and the tools, bro. Like, that's why I got to where I got. And so I never actually got to play much baseball. So I just wanted to get to a place where I could fail. After we had our meeting and everything, I kind of told my coaching staff I was coming back, but I had a backup plan. Or they were my backup plan, I guess. I hope we can cut that part out. But
whatever. I'll cut it out. I'll cut it
out. Our equipment manager, Ryan Fisher, RIP, linked me up with Nini because Nini was the third baseman there when they won the Natty. And I talked to Nini on the phone, and he had that like Miami guy bravado, you know what I mean? That South Florida. I was like, this guy, he's going to get after it. Like I fuck with this. And he offered me, I committed the next day, and that was a wrap, man. And I'm telling you, best decision I've ever made. Best decision I've ever made.
Wow, man. That's amazing. So you're originally from South Carolina?
Georgia. I'm originally
Georgia.
Georgia.
All right.
Yeah,
We're in Georgia. We're in Georgia.
Like South Carolina, then Florida.
We're in Georgia. We're in Georgia.
Right outside of Atlanta. So actually, bro, I live not too far away from where Jacob Hayward was.
I was about to ask. Yeah, that's my dog, bro.
Yeah.
That's a Miami boy too now. That's a Miami boy too now.
Yeah, he is. That's so the first like few Miami games we went to, we were sitting with Jacob's parents.
That's awesome.
Yeah, well, I think it was you guys in Florida, and it was electric, man. It was electric.
Crazy out there. Those are some fun games. So can you explain to me that culture shock of not only obviously on the team was probably a little bit of a culture shock, but like living in Miami, was it what you expected? How was that?
No, yeah. So I expected that I was going to go to Miami and stay in some like glamorous place near the beach. And it wasn't quite that. But it was
you were in Kendall. You were in Kendall?
I was in Kendall. Yes, I was in Kendall. And we were in some apartments. It was 4 of us to a room with 2 bedrooms. Had a twin in each. I went out and slept on the couch. I stayed on the couch the entire time I was there. I love my roommates and everything, but I snore really loud, and it's too much going on. But yeah, so it was a huge culture shock. So everybody on my team, like I said, they were from overseas. So we had like 3 or 4, maybe 5 native English speakers. Outside of that, it was all Spanish. So I got to learn a lot of Spanish. And this is what I noticed, man. They don't need anything to get after. All they need is a bat, a round object that looks like a baseball, and they're good. And they will outwork you every day of the week. And that's what I learned there. I went to South Carolina, and we had a big indoor facility with automatic machine feeder, a hit tracks, all these nice things. And guess what? I worked 3 times as hard down there in Miami with way less and got way more out of it. I think the grittiness that I learned, just because they don't care. Like, it doesn't matter what the circumstances are, what the environment's like. They just found a way. They found a way to have fun, and they found a way to get better always. So those 2 things were like the most shocking things to me. They just got after it differently than we did, being so privileged. You know what I mean? Yeah. So some of those kids are over there getting an education to support their whole family. You know what I mean? Some of the kids were working, sending money over to the family. Some of the kids had kids. You know what I mean? Like, and it didn't matter. They would get it done on and off the field. On and off the field. Like, I was like, okay, y'all are about this. Like, I respect. This is something I want to be a part of.
Yeah, man. People down there, feel a little different when it comes to like having any bit of opportunity. Like, all they need is a crease, bro. All they need is a crease. That's it.
That's all anyone should need. That's all anyone should need, honestly. But yeah, dude, great experience.
So tell me about the start of the social media journey for you. Like, tell me how it really all kind of evolved for you. I was even looking back at your videos, like one of the first ones, I think, like actual, not social media posts in general, but like reels of like Barry Bonds and stuff like that. I was going way back in there in the the first trenches, one. But talk to me about like overcoming that fear of actually talking on camera and how it was for you and stuff, because I want to learn too. I'm still working on that. Like, talk to me a little bit more about that.
Yeah. So I would say, like, dude, it started way before I started the social media page. Because if you look through my page, I have videos of me hitting for days. Like, this is something that was being built my entire life, is honestly what I think. I'm not making it sound like an exaggeration, because I could not go out and make content for a month and have a different swing post every single day and a different AB. That's how much footage I have, because I've always done this. I've always, that Bonds video you saw, that was the first video I posted. I just posted that because I made the account, and I was like, okay, I can't ask people to follow me and I have nothing up there. And I posted that. But I made that 3 or 4 years before that, bro.
Wow.
Yeah, like I've always taken swings and spliced them up and put them together. As just for me and my dad sending stuff to each other, or me trying to understand stuff more, or me and that kid we were working. So I've always done that kind of stuff, and and people have always asked me about hitting advice because they've always understood I was passionate about it, at least, right?
Yeah.
So that kind of eased me into like getting on camera and getting it done. But I started a little over a year ago, driving home after a season. I was like, you know what, like my chances of playing like MLB baseball are pretty slim. So I'm gonna have to go the indie ball route. But while I do that, I need to find a way to support myself. So maybe I can make a social media page, maybe train a few hitters and make some money while I'm chasing my dream, sleeping on the floor and who knows where, just trying to get some live ABs. You know what I mean? So that was the original purpose behind it. And I was like, I can help a ton of people too because I've tried it all. And then from there, I just started posting. As soon as I made the account, maybe like 2 weeks later, I was like, okay, I'm gonna start posting stuff. And it didn't gain traction at first because I was doing it like everybody else. I was just doing the slow-mo swings, doing the breakdowns with like some captions here, captions there. So I was like, let me talk. So I talked one time, because I mainly started on TikTok, and I made the transition over to Instagram. I started talking like sooner there, but when I started talking, people started listening and they started liking it a lot. And I was like, okay. But when I first posted, I had such a small following and the people that followed me I didn't know. So it wasn't like I was really putting myself out there. I just happened to put myself out there, and then it blew up, and I was like, whoa, cool.
Dang.
So yeah, so I got lucky. And then yeah, dude. And now all I try and do is like I said, I have a kid in mind that I'm trying to help, and I dream as big as I possibly can with the video, and I see how close I can come to getting it down, whether it's concepts or whatever. But yeah, like I said, dude, this is always in the making. Like all these videos you are seeing right now, dude, 80% of them are old.
Dude, it's funny. I can see, first of all, these videos are not right now, right? Like I can see the ones from South Carolina. You're wearing different stuff. And I'm like, he's getting all the angles, right? Like you're getting all the angles of you hitting in different times. And I'm like, was this like premeditated?
No,
Like
it was just because I would have one of my teammates record me from the dugout while I was playing.
All the time.
All the time. Dude, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get some old iPhones and go and back them up on my computer, because I would have so many swings. I'd get the biggest storage iPhone that I could possibly get, but I'd have so many swings that each time I updated my phone, I'd have to delete hundreds and hundreds and maybe even thousands of swings. So dude, I would say, like, no exaggeration, I probably have 70% of my time swinging a bat on video. And my dad has it from when I was 6.
Wow, bro.
Yeah, we're about to get those videos too. We just got to get them. They're off of a camcorder, so we got to get them. I don't know.
What do you know about a camcorder, bro?
Not much, brother. Not much. Hey, not much. That's why we're sending it off, so somebody can get the information off of it. But dude, like, that's why I said I think like this kind of thing was a long time in the making, because I've always done this. Now I'm just telling people that I'm doing it. I'm just sharing.
Yeah. Hey, how many of those naked dry hacks do you have? Because I know I have a bunch of them, bro. Naked dry hacks before getting in the shower. You're in the mirror, like.
Dog, I got this. It's hilarious because I got this one that my form is perfect on, and I would love to post it, but I'm just ass naked, bro. I can't. What I'm thinking about is just making it like a silhouette. But I still really can't do that because it's just slinging, bro. I can't do shit. You know,
bro, it's so funny because I still got all my videos the same way, and I'd be like, damn, bro, that was a good thing, but I ain't got no clothes on, bro. I can't send that to nobody, bro.
Yeah, absolutely. We're not gonna get into that story, but I've taken a lot of naked dry swings for like specifically did it so I could see some things on the video. I know it sounds weird, but I could see
your body move.
Yeah.
They got to be an OnlyFans for that or something like that.
Only swings. Only swings.
That's funny, bro. Yo, so tell me about this, because I know this is something that a lot of professional baseball players, like guys that are in the minors or even in the majors, they have a lot of pride, right? And they get scared to like ask for help. So like they don't think they know it all, but they think that they should know it all. have you had a lot of pro guys approach you and talk to you about the swing and ask for advice and even work with you and stuff like that?
Yeah. So, dude, I've been really
You don't have to
blessed.
say names if you don't
Yeah.
want to. If you
Yeah, I've
good,
been
you
really
could.
blessed.
Good.
I have more pro guys than I can count that are reaching out trying to swing me, because either a lot of them I played with, in the past, so there's that connection there, or they just like my stuff. But luckily, people who have made it way further in baseball than myself respect my opinion and want my thoughts on what they're doing. So I get a few guys hitting me up every day now.
That's
It's awesome.
unbelievable. And talk to me about that, because you're obviously a businessman now too, right? Like, tell me how hard it is, or what you've done to kind of be able to. I know you talked about having an assistant. Can you break down a little bit
Yeah.
about the structure of how you're running your business and what
Yeah,
maybe somebody
absolutely.
that wants to do what you're doing can do as well?
Yeah. So I think that for this is truly how I feel. I think that what I'm doing, not a lot of people are doing, because I'm still playing, still training to play and making instructional content. So I think it's kind of a weird place that I'm in, especially like when I talk to companies, they're like, "Are you an instructor or a athlete?" Like it's kind of weird. So I'm like, just call me like a athlete influencer. I don't know.
Yeah.
But so this has kind of turned into a family business. My mom helps me. She does all my scheduling. She does my flights, my travel. My younger sister, she's my camera woman. She downloads stuff for me. She sends emails. She does all that cool stuff. And then my dad, he works. My sister works full time for me, and my mom, she doesn't work, but she's full time with me as well. My dad does work full time, but he works from home, so he's literally 10 feet over there in his office. So he does like the cool kind of stuff for me. So he bought a drone so we could record stuff from above, and he finds like interesting new like technology that can help me can put my message out there better. So it's awesome. It's like a family thing, and me and my dad, that's like this should really be Chuck and Ian Jenkins hitting, because that's what it is. It's me and him. Like all these ideas that you're hearing are all just me and him talking throughout the years and learning things and putting things together from other people. So he serves a really big part. He doesn't help so much as much with the content as they do, but the actual substance that we talk about is all just me and him talking. Like if I'm running out of ideas, I'll just go out and talk to my dad about hitting, and I'll come up with something. I'll be like, gotta go.
Dang, that's where it is, right there. Boop, I gotta go record.
Yeah.
Dang, that's pretty cool.
So yeah, man, but it's been difficult trying to balance everything. It really has been, because I've luckily I've been able to get a lot of traction fast. And there's a lot of people who are reaching out, either wanting help or wanting to work out with me, and it's like kind of tough to sift through it all. And I don't know. Sometimes I don't know what I should do or what I shouldn't. But my family helps me with those kind of decisions. It's tough to balance, but we're starting to get a little schedule together. We're starting to get stuff in line. Things are getting organized. I got a product I'm about to drop pretty soon. I got an online. I'm going to be teaching classes soon. Actually, I have not announced that yet. This is the first time I'm talking about that. But
hey, man,
I'm
thank you. I appreciate for dropping that little nugget right here. Man.
Yeah, but I'm going to be teaching classes. So basically, all the things that you hear me talk about, I'll have a PowerPoint presentation on not this TV, but I have another TV right here. And I'll have it all up right there, and I'll hold an entire class for 45 minutes talking about all this stuff, how it works, drills to do it, how it works in game, then how to apply it to you, and then Q&A after. And the whole point of that, I plan on doing it 3 times a week, and the whole point of doing that is I just want to teach you to be your own best coach. That's it. I want to teach you how to make adjustments for you. I'm not saying that there's one way for everything. We're going to figure out what works best for you, and then I'm going to teach you how to get there more consistently. That's the whole point behind the class. It's be your own best coach and never need a coach again, which you will at some point, right? But nobody knows you like yourself. You know what I mean? You're always hitting with yourself. You might as well be a pretty damn good coach to yourself too. So
very, very true. You talked about one thing a lot in your videos, and it's confidence. And I see you walk through kind of even your at-bats when you're kind of doing the voiceovers of your own at-bats, and you're talking about like, I'm pumping up myself right now. I'm even talking to my teammates. I think it was one of them that you said, if I would have struck it out on this next pitch, I probably would have quit. But at least I was pumping myself up, right? And like, bro, it's so crazy because that's the definition of baseball. It's like blind faith, bro. It's like life. You have to have that blind faith that it's going to work out. And 70% of the time, it doesn't work out in a good, right? If we're perfect, right? We're Hall of Famers 70% of the time. But obviously, that's not the case. Tell me what you do to put yourself in a very confident state of mind. Like, tell me what others can do to also have that confidence and that kind of ability to just block out the noise or block the noise in your own head, because everybody thinks about the noise that it's outside, but it's really us against us, like you said.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
What advice do you have for people that want to kind of give themselves that confidence when they walk up to the plate and forget about the mechanics now?
Yeah.
Right. Like now it's all about the mind.
Yeah. So I think that I'll be making some shirts with this on it, but I say it all the time. And I used to say it to my Dominican teammates all the time. Todo es mental. So it's all mental. So it's your perception is everything. You can completely control the way you feel and the way you look at things. You just have to want it bad enough, right? When it comes to the confidence part, it's hard to, you can trick yourself into being confident, but that's not like how I like to look at it. Everybody likes to go up there and say, I'm better than you just because I'm better. And like, no, I'm better than you because I've put in time that you haven't. You need a reason to believe that you're actually better. And that only comes from preparation. It comes from everything beforehand. So just like hitting, result, and formula. If you're trying to get confidence when you're playing, it's too late. That had to be built somewhere else. That had to be built in the dark. You know what I mean? Putting in all those hours, understanding yourself. Now, when it comes to drying out all the noise, everybody says go up there and don't think. Guess what, bro? Only people that don't think are 6 feet deep. Okay, so it's impossible. It's impossible. It's impossible to stop thinking. I don't care who you are. It's about thinking about the right things, thinking about one or two things that are the right things for you. So instead of thinking about all these other things, you are thinking too much. We narrow it down. So my dad and I, we would do this thing to where we would have our process. And for me, we always thought of hitting as just like a series of like one or two movements and that's all I had to do. It would help me block out things so much. But for us, it's called shield close. So basically it's like, okay, and it has to do with mechanics, but that's what helped me like drown everything out. It's shield close. So I would just say, okay, my forearm stays here. It's not going to move. I'm going to turn into it. I'm not going to let it go up here and chase it. I'm going to keep it back and turn. And I would just say it over and over in my head, shield close, shield close, shield close. And I couldn't hear a fucking thing. I couldn't hear a thing. If my dad were coaching first base, I couldn't hear him. If he were in the stands, I couldn't hear anything. At some of the biggest stages, like when I did that, I couldn't hear anything. And I love that. I love that. When I was struggling, I knew everything that was going on. I knew everything that was going on.
Very, very aware. You're
way too aware, bro. Yeah, I knew everything that was going on. So,
wow.
All that to say, confidence is built before you get there, and you need a reason to believe why you're better than somebody, and you have to truly like put all your effort in to believe that, right? And then when you get up there, you just need a process. Whatever yours might be, it's just 2 or 3 words that help you lock in, and you just repeat those over and over again. You're just focused on that because we're not focused on the results or anything outside of ourselves. We're only, like you said, you versus you. If I win the battle within, everything will happen out there.
Nice, bro. Is visualization a big thing for you? Do you use that a lot?
I like that.
And how?
Yeah, so I like to just close my eyes and imagine what I want, like how I want to feel and do. So something that helps me a lot is like I'll literally just sit here and with a bat in my hand and I'll be imagining what I'm doing, but like kind of doing it with my eyes closed. Just because I feel like it's like communicating on like 2 planes instead of 1. So like I'm thinking about it visually and then I'm feeling visually what I want to do. I feel like that helps me lock in. I used to do a lot of stuff with, like I said, I had this process, right? Like 2 or 3 steps before I would go and hit. I would write those steps down for a whole page over and over and over again for a full page before I would go out and hit, brainwashing myself saying, this is all I care about. This is all I want. Not hitting the ball hard, not trying to force the ball to right field. It's completing this process. It's you versus you. And I wanted to brainwash myself doing that. So yeah, some mental tricks like that. I learned that from a coach. I didn't originally do that, but it's something that's helped a ton.
Yo, that's sick, bro. I never really thought about that. And like you're writing it down and you're seeing it, writing it, feeling it.
Yeah. So think about this, bro. When you study for a math test, you don't you do the problems, right? Like you go out and you write it out and you figure it out and you do it for yourself, right? Like why shouldn't hitting be the same thing? You're teaching your body to do something. How come it's not the same thing? It all starts in here, right? So, oh, sorry, I got a message, but it all starts in here. So like, I feel like whenever I want to study for a test and know something really well, I'd write it a bunch of times and I never forget it. So I'm thinking, I go up there and I forget like the smallest detail, and I feel like that small detail could have changed my entire bat. Well, screw that. I'm gonna just write it down 1,000 times and never forget it.
Wow, bro, that's a great point. Now, baseball is obviously a sport where like swinging too much could hurt, right?
Really?
Like, I mean, because and not because of like doing the wrong thing, but if just fatigue, I think, right? Like fatiguing, your body's fatiguing, stuff like that. But one of the things that we all know that happens as baseball players is like your swing just wants to disappear sometimes. It just like you think you're doing the same thing and then all of a sudden you're not. Like what do you kind of do to try to stay as consistent as possible and have a repeatable swing, right? Because we all know slumps happen, right? Like how do you kind of avoid getting out of what works for you and what you think you're doing as opposed to like, right, even like what you were showing me now, it's like, hey, I think my body's doing this, like this is what I want to do, and then all of a sudden you get out there and it's not happening.
It's not. Yeah. So I look at it like everything. I feel like I look at it a little bit backwards. So I look at it at everybody's had that one swing where it's felt amazing. We've all, no matter how much we've sucked in our career, we've all had that one swing that was just like, oh, this is it. Like I can do that again. This is it, right? So I've posted about this before, but so memories are things of events in the past, right? Memories and feels are the same thing. A feel is nothing more than a memory of something that worked well for you in the past, right? So we can equate the two. They're both memories. Now, let's say, or we did meet a few years ago, but let's say you and I went to a concert 4 years ago, right? We're both going to remember it. Although we watched the same exact thing, we're going to remember it slightly differently, okay? Now, each time we access that same memory, it slightly alters. Our subconscious slightly changes it. Let's say, do you have like a fiance or anything?
Yep,
or anything?
A fiance.
One of these days, ask her about an event that happened a long time ago. That maybe not even be that significant, but both of you guys are going to talk about it differently and explain it differently, right? So each time our brain accesses a memory, it changes it slightly. So we think that we're doing the same exact thing that we were doing before, but each time we do it, it's slightly changing ever so slightly. And we know hitting is super detail oriented. You just said the smaller you put your bat versus putting your bat here versus there, change your whole body. Right?
Everything.
Body, right? So we know those small details are super important. So if we think about it, our feels are constantly changing because it's a memory and that memory is slightly altering. But how do we do that? Because our memories are always going to change. This is how you do it. We have technology now. As soon as you take that swing, you need to capture it in the moment of purity. So that's why I like to video a lot of my stuff. I see the swing, but most importantly, I take a video of myself just like we're doing right now, and I teach myself exactly how to do it. I teach myself, this is what I was thinking, feeling, and this is what I was trying to do, and this is what it looked like. And if I can go back and watch that video every day, then it will never change from its original form. I'll know I'll be doing the same thing every day. Same thing like a routine. Like it's doing the same thing to get you back in line. You're always going to be off a little here, off a little there, and our routine gets you back in line. This is the same type of thing. I'm just taking it from its purest moment. This is when I felt it the best and knew it the best.
Wow, bro. Dude, it's funny. It's funny you say that. Well, first of all, I got to hit on one thing that you said because you said about asking my fiance about something that happened 4 years ago. I'll ask her something that happened yesterday, and we have two different opinions.
Yeah.
We don't got to go 4 years ago. We only got to go 20 minutes. And usually I'm wrong, right? Like that's how it works. I know it, though. I put myself in that place. It's fine. But, bro, I have so many videos because people call me crazy. And I go, bro, I have videos of talking to the camera. Like talking to the camera. My phone's just put right there. Yeah. And I'm just like, hey, Willie. Like I'm talking to Willie in a slump a month from now.
Yeah.
Willie, this is how you're going to grab the bat. Like, look at it. Look at it right there. That's how you're going to grab the bat. All right. Now put it right here on your shoulder. Turn this way. Look at it. Look where it's at right there. You're feeling, and this is what you're feeling right now. This is what you're feeling. This is what you're going to feel. And you're going to move when the pitcher, whatever it may be.
Yeah. Dance with the pitcher, whatever.
Dance with the pitcher, whatever it needs to be. It's told in the video. And it's like, people get scared to do that. People have been intimidated by like, oh, no, like, I'm fine. I don't want to think about it. It's like, no. Like, pack your lunch right now, bro.
Yeah.
When you're doing good is when you need to pack your lunch and get your tools ready. Because when you go and you're in a slump, that's when you're going to need to open that lunchbox and eat.
Exactly. Because the smallest things change and you don't even know it, bro. You don't even know it. Have no clue. And now you have something to compare it to. Okay. And then, so like, let's say when you're in that slump, you do the same thing. You get in front of it and you try and explain what you're doing and feeling, and then you show yourself what it's supposed to look like, and then you go back and you compare those two videos, and you can see, oh, that's exactly where I'm screwing up, actually.
Yep.
You know what I mean? You can make hitting easier if you document it, but if you document it, you can get analysis or paralysis by analysis. So there's a very, very fine line that you have to walk in with it, because it's hitting, bro. It's hard. It's the hardest thing to do in all sports, you know.
Yeah.
So
yeah. So that's one. I love that you brought that up, because I'll even ask you about this. Is we talk so much about the mechanics and what we should think and what we should not think and what we should think and all those things, right? That it kind of comes full circle. Like, I love thinking of hitting as before 7 o'clock and in between the lines, and then when you get past that line, like, how do you teach kids to leave what they've learned in practice and get into the game and just play? I saw a video that you posted, and I'm going to refer to it because you spoke about, I think it was a showcase that you were in, a MLB showcase that you were like, the first day I got there, I was trying to show everybody what I could do. I was trying to do this. I was trying to do that. And then I just let it go. And I was like, that's it. You already did the work. Yeah. Now, like, just have fun and compete. Yeah. And that's when you hit a bomb or something like that. Like, explain that a little bit to
me. So I got there, and it was called the MLB Regional Cross Checker Series. It was when I was at Dade. And I went there, and like I said, my swing felt great, and I was just trying to do too much, bro. Like, I was just trying to show everybody that I belonged, and like, look at all these tools, because I had just COVID happened, and I had just transformed myself. I lost 30 pounds. I started running a 6'6". Like, I was moving. I took my 60 down from a 6'3" to a 6'6", and I wanted to show everybody that, like, look at all these tools that I worked on. I can do this and that, and I wanted just to show all these scouts there. And man, I just didn't perform the way I should have. And the next day, I was like, all right, screw all this. I already didn't do too great the first day. What do I have to lose now, right? Let's just go out there and see if Ian can beat Ian. What do I want to do today? Okay, I got my process. That's all I care about, and that's all I want to do. And it's the difference of you swing in practice and you hit in the games, right? You work on your swing in practice, but you're a hitter in the games, and that's what people got to realize. Like, I talk about all these things, and all these different things can help you, but at the end of the day, all that matters is if you find the barrel. Find the barrel, and you have to be willing to do whatever it takes, no matter how uncomfortable it is, to find that barrel. And that's all it is. You swing in practice and you hit the game. Go hit, bro. Go hit.
That's beautiful, bro. Do you teach kids to, or whoever you work with at times, like, do you teach them to practice hitting as well?
All the time.
Like, you practice your swing, but you also practice hitting in practice, right?
Yeah. So this is like, if you do a lesson with me, this is how it's going to start. We're going to start by doing some feel good stuff. I want to make sure that your swing feels good, and that's the first part of the lesson. Now it's actually time to get better. Okay. Now we're going to get on the machine. We're going to do fastball, curveball. We're going to do the light flight balls. I'm going to absolutely try and break your confidence. Like, I'm throwing I wouldn't say throw everything at you, but I'm trying to make practice super difficult, man. I don't want it to be easy. I want you to force yourself to figure it out when things are hard. Jackson Holiday, I don't know if you saw the other day, but they posted him hitting BP. The dude used like 4 different bats in 15 swings. Why? Because they all had different contact points. But guess what he did with each one of them? He still found the barrel. He still had the complete control and barrel awareness and body awareness to do it. And that's when, once you have the swing, that's what I want to train. That's hitting. Now we go to the game, and it's a bit easier. It's never easy, but it's going to be easier if you got challenged in practice. If we're just doing feel-good stuff all the time, that's when the loops get in the swing. That's when the swings get long and slow. It doesn't work. I've tried it too much.
Yeah. You got to practice competing, man. You got to practice competing.
There you go.
At the end of the day, like you said,
find the
damn barrel. Yeah, exactly, bro. Find the damn barrel. Figure it out, right? Like, figure it out. You need to be able to practice. Hey, you're in the game. There's somebody coming after you, bro. He wants to kill you, bro. And it ain't gonna happen. Like, this is where I'm at. I'm here. You're there. Let's get it. Like,
absolutely, dude. And one more thing. When it goes to college, everybody thinks. I think there's been this misunderstanding with college baseball that you have to have a really good swing to perform. Even at the highest levels of college baseball, and that couldn't be further from the truth, bro. There's a dude that I know that had a very bad swing at South Carolina, and he hit like 330 with like 12 bombs, and he chopped wood, bro. Bad swing. Yeah. Guess where he had it? Up here. He played the game. He could hit. He didn't swing. He played the game. You know what I mean? All you have to do to be a really good college baseball player is be good up here. is be good. Of course, and have some of the intangible tools and some of that. But
Mhm.
if you got it up here, you're probably gonna be better than 90% of people. If you got an approach and you can stick to it, you're probably gonna be better than 90% of the hitters. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. The way you walk, the way you feel, the way you talk, like those things make a difference, bro. They're real. They're really, really real. And yeah, like people, I mean, I look back at some of the swings. I'm sure you do too. You look back at some of your old swings and go, I know this swing sucked, but like I thought I was the man. At
I
least
was balling.
like, yeah, like bro, I hit a ball 500 feet, bro. I didn't even I thought that swing sucked. Like, but in my head, I was gonna hit one 500, bro. Like I was going for it, bro. Like,
Absolutely.
All right, last thing. I'm sorry. I know I took a lot of your time, bro. This is it. This is the last one. I hope you're enjoying it, bro. So last one, bro. You're talking about hitting a ball 130 miles an hour.
Oh yeah.
You're talking about that, bro.
Okay.
Is that something that you really want to do? Are you still working towards that?
Oh, yeah.
So
it's called the Road to 130, and this is why I decided to do it, because I never would have thought something like that would have been possible. But we have this thing with a bunch of content creators. It's called NYBC, and it's like a camp we did, and with a Beezer bat, so with the old school bats. So like I said, I'm 5 months out of surgery, and at this point, I probably did 2 days of rehab, and I hadn't lifted weights since I tore my ACL, and I've swung, but I haven't trained for it. Okay, and we got out there, and I had a Beezer bat with these shitty high school baseballs on a slow curveball machine, right? And I hit a ball 123, and I'm like, hold up, I'm 5 months out. I haven't been working out. I'm not using an MLB baseball. I didn't hit a fastball, and I didn't hit the ball directly at the reader because it reads higher when you do that. I'm thinking, I'm putting all these factors together. I was like, can I hit 130 miles an hour? Like, can I get one swing, a perfect at 130 miles an hour? Maybe if I train for it. Like, I've never trained bat speed in my life. Like I said, I'm coming off a major knee operation. I haven't done anything, and I'm 7 miles away. Like, I might be able to. I'm set with a bad baseball. If I get an MLB baseball, those things are juiced. That's like 2 or 3 miles an hour right there, bro.
That's
true. Hitting it back at the reader is another 1.5 miles, maybe 2, and maybe
low. A nice little low one right there.
Yeah. Bam.
0 degrees. 0 degrees.
Exactly.
Or maybe even -2 because it goes right down to it.
Yeah, right down to it. Just get on top and yeah. But I'm thinking all these factors, man. Like I could either get it or get really close. Either way, I don't think there's many people that could do it, and I think it'd be something that'd be fun to watch, and it'd be a great series that everybody wants to learn how to gain power and hit the ball harder, because that's all the craze these days. So maybe I could make it fun, you know?
Bro, dude, this is amazing, man. This is amazing. So, bro, would you have thought your journey, if you were talking to, 7, 8-year-old Ian, like when he fell in love with the game, like would you have thought this is how the journey would have gone?
Dude, not in the slightest. My parents, we talk about it all the time, because like the opportunities that I've been getting lately are unreal, and I couldn't imagine this stuff in 1,000 years. I mean, even a few months ago, I couldn't imagine the stuff that's happening for me right now. Dude, it's like everything makes sense. Like all my struggles in the past kind of make sense and lead itself towards this. But when I was going through that, none of it made sense. None of it made sense. I always thought, I was like, man, if people just knew like some of the stuff that I could do, they'd really be amazed. I always thought that to myself. And now that I have a chance to put it out there, people kind of like it. So it's cool.
Bro, I congratulate you. I commend you. Like, please, bro, continue doing it. Don't stop for nobody. Like, I know you're not going to, and maybe what I'm saying doesn't matter. But, bro, I got to tell you, bro. Keep doing it, bro. Keep hitting it hard, because, like, you're making a huge difference and a huge impact on a lot of lives, man. And
thank you.
You're gonna be really happy about it in 5 or 10 years from now, right? Like, keep doing it, bro. Keep doing it. I wanna come up. Maybe one of these days we could get a little a hitting session in and record it and put it out. It'd be sick.
Bro, I would love that, dude. I'm gonna be down in Miami, a few times. I always go down. I gotta go down for my podcast stuff too. So
dope. Whenever you're down here, bro, let me know. I'll be down here full time January. So let's do it, bro. Whenever you want, bro. Whatever you got, whatever you need, bro. I'm here to help.
That's what's up. I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you.
I appreciate you, bro. Hey, take care. Whatever you need, bro.